I recently decided to start feeding Kitsune and Essie both 100% raw food. And the reason I decided to do this was for several reasons. Um, One, the food that they were eating before, the Earthborn Holistic, they were going through $4 of food a day. Multiply that by 30, that's $120 to feed these kitty cats the best food that I could possibly find on the market. And $120 to feed, kitty cats is that's too much for my budget. So I needed to find some sort of a solution that would let them still get really good nutrition, but wouldn't break the bank. And I found this website that sells the raw food, and it's less for 2 months of food to order like the whole ground up chicken, and then plus like vitamin E and organic cage free eggs and all the different additives to it. It was like less for 2 months of the raw food than it was for like 1 month of the canned food. And so that was one factor, was definitely price. And a second factor was the fact that their litter box was really starting to smell, or it had been smelling really bad. My first kitty cat, she was fine with the food, and I just thought that my second one was just getting used to it. And like how we switch a food, sometimes a cat's system is going to smell because it's not used to digesting it. So that's what I just thought it was. But my second little kitty cat, Kitsune, he just wasn't adapting to it at all. And it was just stinking, stinking, stinking. And I would just be sometimes asleep, and I would just wake up because of the stench. Because their litter box is in the bathroom right next to my room. And they have a second litter box in the other bathroom. But I don't trust them running around my unit without me being there. Because they do things like climb up on the tables and like knock down cards and stuff, and they've knocked down lamps before. So I keep them in my bedroom overnight, because there's nothing in there that they can destroy, or rather there are fewer things in there that they can destroy, as opposed to my whole entire unit, like the rest of it. So I keep them with me, and I would, like, a couple of times I literally woke up because it was just stinking so badly. And I realized something had to change. And when I went online, I heard, Kitsune, that's not your bowl. Not your bowl. No, leave Essie's bowl alone. You have your own bowl, so I can monitor how much you're eating. No. Go eat your serving of food. No. I need to pay attention to how much food you're getting in. Okay, so sorry about that. He's really likes to eat her food for some reason. I mean, even when he's got food still in his own, but he still just likes to eat hers. And that makes it really hard to make sure that each of them are getting in the amount of food, relative amount of food that they're supposed to be getting each day. So, aside from that, hello, Esty. You want to eat some more food? She seems to like to take a break, and then she goes back to eating. Okay. So, yeah, the litter box was stinking horrifically. And what I found out is, like, when I switched them, within about, like, 24 hours of switching them, the litter box had no smell. And I was actually shocked, because I read online that, like, people said, no smell or anything. But I also know that sometimes these raw feeding people are, like, crazy. And they get angry at people for not feeding raw. And they're, like, all these arguments and stuff. And it's just super dramatic. So I tend not to trust people that get angry over things like cat food. So I tried it because, it was mostly because this was the cheaper method. And surprisingly, the litter box does not stink at all, which is really saying something, because, like, and then right afterwards, always right after Kitsune would go to the litter box, he would always want to come cuddle with me. So then that stench would just follow along with him and he would stink too. It was a really unfortunate situation. And then he'd have like, I know this is totally gross, so disclaimer right here, really gross statement coming. You'd have like little pieces stuck to his bum. It was just awful. But he seemed to be, energetic and playing around like a kitten, so he didn't seem like sick or anything. But he just wasn't adapting to it. So literally within 24 hours, no more litter box smell. Nothing stuck to his little bum. He doesn't stink. I mean, he still has to come cuddle with me right after he goes to the bathroom. But thankfully, no more stench. So I am very happy with that. I think I'm going to continue with this raw thing. If for nothing else, the stench and the cost.